Hey, what's up YouTube? In part 1, we made the outside of our Walmart. In this part, we're going to turn this into this. If you have somehow managed to miss part 1, in which we made the entire outside of our Walmart, then please check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section. You will be able to find part 1 very easily, and once you have made the entire outside, we can get this tutorial started. We can start this off by walking on into our Walmart. Do notice that it's very, very dark in here. We will probably do something about that. Here are all of the materials that we are going to be starting off this build with. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. We will be using a lot of materials throughout this build, but as we swap in between materials, I will be giving you guys new item lists. I'm not going to throw it all at you right now because I think that that's probably a bit overwhelming. We're going to need a lot of stuff, so make sure you have all of that and then we can get this thing cooking. Step 1, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to work our way over to the right hand side of the entrance. So as we look at the entrance from the inside of the store, we want to find our way to the right side here where we have these sticky out light grey concretes. And what we are then going to do is we are going to move right of this light grey concrete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That puts us in the corner of this wall, just making sure that that's correct. And we are going to place 26 white concretes extending outwards from this corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Now, that 26th block is going to extend all the way across the build, and I know that it's very, very dark at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, but trust me, it's not going to stay that way. We want to extend that 26th block all the way across the build, right? We want to leave a gap of 2 between it, and then we want to have another row of white concrete that simply just extends from the same width from left to right across the build, but we want to leave that little gap of 2. And then what we're going to do next is we just have to make another little dividing wall. Now, the dividing wall is basically going to be... Step 1, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to come all the way over to the front left-hand corner of the build. So this is the technical front left-hand corner. As you're inside of the build, you want to make your way all the way over to this corner right here. We want to place a row of 26 white concrete extending from this corner block right here all the way towards the back of the build. So that's 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. We then want to extend that 26th block all the way across the build like this. We then want to leave a gap of 2 extending backwards, and we want to place another row of white concrete that extends all the way across the build like this. We want to take that second row on the left side, and we want to count, and we want to find the 14th block. So this would be the first, second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're going to connect this 14th block to the back wall using terracotta. So that is all of the walls kind of laid out for the build. Now this is what we're going to do next. This will actually not be done on recording because it's going to take both of us a really long time to do it. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to rip up the floor entirely. Believe it or not, we don't want to have grass as the floor inside of our supermarket. It's not an ideal floor, so we're going to rip up all of the grass inside of the supermarket. We're going to replace it with quartz, except for one area here. This is the warehouse. As a matter of fact, the warehouse... I'm not sure whether to use smooth stone for the floor of the warehouse, or what am I doing? Or whether I want to use some light grey concrete, or perhaps even just some grey concrete. I think I'm going to try out the grey. I hope I don't regret that decision. So, number 1, rip up all the floor. Everywhere is quartz except for the warehouse area. That is going to be... I'm going to try the grey concrete. The ceiling. We have to do the ceiling. The ceiling is going to be light grey. Completely light grey. Basically, we just want to add a layer of light grey that extends from, we already had a decent chunk of the ceiling filled in with light grey. We want to extend that all the way across the entire ceiling everywhere wants to be light grey. And then I'm going to add some sea lanterns inside of the roof so that we can actually see. We'll mess about with them more later, but I'm just going to add quite a few sea lanterns so that we can actually just see what we're doing. So I'm going to do all of those things, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'm going to be back. It's going to be very simple to do, but you will find that it will take you quite a bit of time. One moment, please. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that was quite a process. That took a long time to do. But we have refloored the entire supermarket with block of quartz. We have raised up the walls as well to meet the ceiling, which has also been done. And I have added a lot of sea lanterns into the ceiling just so that we can see. We might have to change some of those around just to better fit with the layout, but we'll keep it for that for now. And it's also worth mentioning that behind that wall is also the hallway, the warehouse, and the staff room. All of that has been completed, but we'll be getting to that a little bit later on anyway. So, you might have to pause the video. Do make sure that you have all of that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen. And once you do have all of that framework complete, we can now get started on actually adding details and stuff like that. So, just a couple of things we do have to tune up actually first is above the set of windows on the front right of Walmart, we're just going to add a layer of light grey concrete like this, and we might also frame in the windows by adding some terracotta just kind of like around them like this, because I think that it just looked a little bit scruffy before, but that actually cleans it up quite a bit. On the right side of the door, so kind of like where we started off in the front left hand corner, I think that I'm just going to simply seal up this entire wall using terracotta here. So again, just to kind of make it look a little bit less scruffy, make it look a little bit better. I think that that works out quite nicely. Now that we are here, I want to make a lot of the produce section. So it's quite easy to do, and we're just going to follow this pattern to start with. In the corner here, we're going to place a grey concrete, just full on grey, 5 dirt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, grey, 5 dirt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, grey, 5 dirt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another grey, like this, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to place light grey in front of all of this, and then we're going to take the light grey that is on the end, the right end here, we're going to extend this light grey to the right, across Walmart by 2, 1, 2, we're going to extend in, right, in, right, like this, and then we're going to extend that block to the right, or we're going to extend it backwards by 2, 1, 2. We're then going to place a grey concrete against the wall like that, and yeah, that looks perfect. Excellent. We're going to make a little bit more of the frame of all of this stuff as well. So we're going to leave a gap of 2 between this light grey concrete here. We're going to leave a gap of 2, and we're going to place 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 light grey concretes extending across. We're then going to leave a gap of 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to place another 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like that. We're going to extend this 9th block upwards by 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to place 2, 1, 2 white concretes extending up to the ceiling. Okay, so we then want to leave a gap of 2 between the light grey concrete that we just placed. We want to leave a gap of 2, mark out another light grey, gap of 2, another light grey like this. You can raise up these light grades by 2 if you like, but we will be more so coming back to this a little bit later on. And that's a little bit of framework complete. Something cool is that in between these gaps of 2 and this gap of 3 here, you can actually destroy into the wall behind us. Like, in relation to where those gaps are, you can refloor the floor, you can destroy the dirt or grass that was underneath it, and you can place yourself some doors. Now, these are 2 doors that are pretty much only meant to be used by the staff, and these doors also want to knock through into 2 individual rooms. So the triple door, we also want to, like, just across the hall parallel, we want to knock through, and we want to have a triple door that leads us into the warehouse. And in addition to that, we want to find the little double door here, and we want to knock through into the staff room. And again, we're just going to place some more doors. So now you can see that we do have this hall taken care of as well, that takes us to these rooms. We have the warehouse done. It's looking pretty good. And we also have the staff room too. I'd also recommend adding some doors to the sides of the Walmart as well, just so that staff can use them, or, you know, whoever. Probably staff. I don't think the customers would be walking around. And we can have these on both sides of the building. If you wanted to, you could even make them just one way, so like to get out, but that's completely up to you. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. I like how that looks. So yeah, we have all the rooms taken care of now. We have them all connected. That's looking great. The next thing that we are going to do is we are going to make more of the framework of kind of like the outer parts of Walmart. So these are my favorite parts, by the way, like the bakery, the butcher, the produce section. I love all these. They're my favorites. I want you to take the grey concretes that we placed, and I want you to raise them up each by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, even this one as well, next to the door, 1, 2, like that. We're going to place on top of the middle, more so these 2 middle light grey concretes, we're going to place white concrete, and then we're going to extend the white concretes outwards like this. And we're going to do this, just for those 2 middle pair pretty much. And what we also want to do is we want to place white on the end pair of grey concretes, but we want to join the white concretes together. And the white concretes actually want to follow the same pathway as the light grey concretes just below. So just make sure... Yeah, so just make sure that all lines up quite nicely. I'm even going to add a little bit of sea lanterns into the top of this. And basically, just in this corner right here, we're just going to have a load of watermelon and a load of pumpkins. Or anything else, really. But it's just a nice way to hide a little bit of light in there. And the same can be done, by the way, for like, if you just place some sea lanterns, you only have to place 1 layer actually, like this layer at the bottom. If you just place sea lanterns in between the like first pair of white concrete and not the outer pair, then that will keep the produce lit up a little bit. What else can we do? So yeah, we'll take care of this side completely first. So we just need a few different colors. We basically just need, I'm going to use purple, orange, and light blue for no reason whatsoever, by the way. Any bright color will do. And I'm going to place purple here in front of these sea lanterns and in between the white concretes. I'm going to place orange here. And I'm going to place some light blue here. Now, you can make the colors, you can make them, you know, relevant to what is actually being, like, sold here. So, like, where we have orange, you could have carrots. If you wanted to use, like, say, red, you could have, like, beetroots. You could really make them go together if you wanted to. But I just chose random colors just because I'm quite happy doing that. What else do we want to do? Well, we have to decorate, like, this is like the little butcher section here. So I'm just going to chuck these 3 colors where I'm going to get the white, grey, and light grey out again. I'm going to extend this counter backwards on the left and right hand side using the light grey. Against the wall, I'm also going to have light grey, and in between these, I'm going to have just grey concrete, like that. Above this area, I want to have kind of like on the sides, matching the shape of the area, I want to have 2 rows of white concrete on the left and the right side like this. And I will have another color mixed in here too. But what we're going to do is we're just going to add a load of sea lanterns along the inside of here. Again, trying to keep things naturally nice and bright. Just a layer of sea lanterns, I think just in the top here. We want to have the same thing here too. So we already have the white concrete kind of sorted out. We're gonna like make this a solid wall using the light grey. We'll have white concrete just above. We'll extend the end of this in here using light grey. We'll add another one against the wall. We'll add grey concrete in between, make it look nice and clean. And then we want to have a row of white concrete on the left side, just like this. That's perfect. And by the way, can you see how some of these lights don't look good? Like this light here looks goofy, like this set of lights. We'll be sorting all that out later, but we did just need to be able to see. Yeah, very important. So we're going to fill the top of this is the bakery section in using some sea lanterns. And then again, just random colors. We'll go with what can we go with? We'll go with the magenta and the lime concrete. Is that good? Yeah, let's do it. So we'll go for lime concrete here. I guess maybe it'd make more sense for it to be pink or red or whatever, but again, it doesn't really matter, just a random color will do. And then we'll go for the magenta concrete just above here. And it's just so that the areas stick out. You see them and you're like, oh, what's over there? So that's exactly what the entire point of these. And if you want to, you could even make them look a tad bit fancier. You could add like another layer of green at the back here. You could add like another layer of magenta at the back. Here you cannot do that, but yeah, it's looking pretty good though, right? Like that's looking nice. Oh, also above, so these are the freezers. This is the freezer section. I don't have another color on me, so light blue will do. It doesn't matter. We're just going to add light blue just above the little freezer section here, and I think that we'll make all the doors and stuff for these now. So to finish off the freezers, to do the freezers, and later on we'll need the glass pane too. We need quartz stairs. We need a little bit of sea lanterns. We'll use a block of quartz. We'll use light blue glass block and also oak fence. Oh, and also we'll also need the item frames too. And also light grey. We need so many things. So I'm going to fill in between these freezers here. I'm going to fill in between them using light grey concrete just to kind of like make the walls like this. The tops of them, I think, yeah, I'll just fill the tops in using sea lanterns. I don't see why not. The more light, the better, really. If you think that looks a little bit goofy, use white or light grey or block of iron or blah. You guys get the idea, whatever you want. I'm also going to destroy underneath the doors, and I'm going to use sea lanterns here as well, because again, the more light, the more better. We want to set the quartz stairs. We want to set them, where do we want to set them? We're going to set them just behind the sea lanterns, in between all of the layers of light grey, like this. I want to have block of quartz behind the quartz stairs, like so. I think, yeah, this looks okay, like this. And so the sea lanterns were essentially pointless in the ceiling because they're actually getting covered up. Oh well. And then I think that we will use just some quartz stairs like this just to kind of make it look as though that they've got another layer of shelves in. And basically just some item frames just in the middle here. We can fill those in with whatever, but we'll do those later. I'm going to seal up the fridge/freezers using light blue glass because it looks as though it's got a chill on it, as if it were frozen. 500 IQ. And then oak fence as actual like door pull handles. So that is looking pretty good. What else can we do whilst we're here? Well, I'm going to grab the block of iron, and I'm going to place block of iron in between the light grey concretes in the bakery section and also the butcher section. And I'm going to place some glass pane around. So these two areas, it's kind of going to show what's on offer for the bakery and the butcher. You'll be able to look at it, and you don't want people breathing on the stuff, and that's basically what the glass is for. Now, later on, we will be filling up the produce section with all sorts of different stuff. We'll be adding fine details in a lot later because they use loads and loads of materials, and we want to paint with a broad brush at the moment. A very broad brush. So what do we want to do? We're going to grab the dirt, and we are going to grab ourselves the trapdoors. Yeah, the spruce trapdoors. And we're just going to deal with this at the moment, and then we can kind of figure out where to go from here. So, grab the dirt, and you want to make your way to, specifically, this grey concrete here. So this is the grey concrete that is in between the orange and light blue section. You want to follow the grey concrete down to the ground, and you want to leave a gap of 1, 2, 3 here, and then you want to place a dirt. So leave a gap of 3, place a dirt, and then place another one to the right of it. Gap of 2, 2 dirt. Gap of 2, 2 dirt. Perfect. You want to extend the dirt backwards. So how many rows? 1, 2, 3 will do. That will give us a good, that will give us a good distance between everything. We'll be able to walk out around everything quite nicely. You also want to place more dirt. You want to, on the ends of all of these dirts, you want to leave a gap of 2, and then you want to place 1, 2, 3, 4. I do believe, I don't think that they're any bigger, are they? 1, 2, 3, 4. No! You want to leave a gap of 2, and then you want to place 2 more, you want to place 3 more 4 dirts, leaving the gap of 2 like this. And then we're going to place spruce trapdoors all the way around the edge of the dirt. So, just like this. And the spruce trapdoors are going to be flipped upwards, and then later on we'll have some sort of grown vegetables or fruit or whatever whatever you like inside of these. I'd highly recommend a nice mixture of different colored fruits and stuff, or even fake fruits. I'll show you guys all of that when we finally get to it. Like it's all depending upon what you like the look of. I'll give you guys plenty of options for what you can do to these, but trust me, they might look a tad bit boring now. Later on, they'll look so much better. Trust me, they'll be a really cool feature. So we'll get all of these flipped up. This takes so long, unbelievably long. So here, it's easy to miss sides of these as well. I think I've done a good job of doing them all though. Hopefully, wait until later on where I'm like, why can I see dirt? Like here, look, see? I missed one. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much, this is the entire area that we kind of like, we walk straight into the store, and then this is what's here. So what else do we want to do now? We might add some bookcases in, I think. Okay, let's do some bookcases. So we're gonna grab the bookshelves, and we are going to start our bookshelf journey from where we have the dirt here. We want to leave a gap of 2, and we want to place a bookshelf kind of like in this position right here. The bookshelf is going to be as long as the dirt area. Gap of 2. We want to place more bookshelves, but you can actually leave a less of a gap. Like you can make them a little bit longer, maybe about two rows longer than the actual dirt, and then that way you've got kind of like a row of 4. That's pretty good. I don't know how I want to space these out exactly. Okay, so we'll leave a gap of 2, and we'll place more bookshelves coming across to the right, and then another gap of 2, and then some more bookshelves. Like this. I just kind of want to frame these in a little bit. We're going to have some bookshelves along the back here. So these bookshelves are actually going to, we're going to have 2 rows of them, and we're going to leave a gap of, what do we want a gap of? We'll leave a gap of 2, and we want to have a 2, we'll leave a gap of 2 from this back right hand corner row of 4, gap of 2, and then we'll have another 2, and then we'll leave a gap of 2, another 2, and then we'll leave a gap of, I want to say 2 again, but it might be 3, but and we're just going to have them extend to the wall, if that makes sense. I was just kind of trying to interpret what I've got on my plans here. All of these bookshelves want to be 2 rows high. The great thing about bookshelves is they rarely do simulate the aisles that you would get in a supermarket or a store. They're really colourful. I just really like them. I think that they look great for this particular job inside the store. So we might even make them 3 rows high. Yeah, two looks kind of goofy. So we're gonna, we'll make them all 3 rows high. We don't have to make them any higher than that. 3 rows will do the job. Because then I think it's pretty much higher than most things inside of the actual supermarket in terms of like the grocery area and stuff. So like you won't be able to just look directly over them. It won't look so weird. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. That looks quite nice and condensed. So the next thing that we are going to do from here is we are going to make the tills, the cash registers. You guys know what I'm on about. We need ourselves the grey concrete. We also need some end rods. We're going to use beacons as well, and probably some other stuff too as we go on down. So the first till/cash register is going to line up with the right side of this end window, and it's going to leave a gap of 2 from the right side of the end window, so a gap of 2. We're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grey concrete, and then we're going to extend it to the left at the end. We're going to leave a gap of 2, and we're going to make the exact same thing twice more. So we leave a gap of 2, and we want to have the exact same thing running along like this. Right on the very ends here, we are going to have 2 end rods stacked on top of each other, and we're going to place a beacon on top of that. That is to signify like, hey, this till is open. That's the entire point of it. What else can we grab whilst we're at it? Chests, armor stand, paintings, black wall, oak fence. So I'm going to place a chest in the ends of every single one of the tills. I'm going to place an oak fence next to the chest. I'm going to then place a grey concrete next to the oak fence like this, and then I'm going to also need a quartz stair, and I'm going to place quartz stairs on the ends of the, like where the grey concrete connects. On the opposite side we have the quartz, and I'm going to place 2 little black walls on the ends of the till, so just to kind of like turn them into rectangular shapes. We will need some more stuff to finish this off, but ladies and gentlemen, we're actually rapidly approaching. We're rapidly approaching where we are going to be doing all of the details for the front of the store at the very least, which I'm very, very excited about, because I didn't realize how much of this we'd actually done. We've done a huge amount. This little area, kind of like close to the entrance, it's just kind of going to be like a little mix of stuff. So we're just going to have some armor stands. We're going to have some chests in between, stuff like this. That looks fine. And we're going to have a load of advertisements in the form of posters. So if you just place a load of random posters, they will go together in some sort of way. Let's get different. There we go. It just basically, it looks like a load of advertisements, and you can do this along the top of the store quite well. Kind of like this. Like in stores, you always have advertisements. It's always like, this is on offer, buy this for this, You can have that all the way around. By the way, if you want a window inside your Walmart, we've got a good place to actually put one. We could have a window here, where we have the fridge freezers. We could even have, by the way, we could have a little bit less of a bookshelf area, so we could actually walk to this till. You could have another window here. You could also have a long window perhaps here, kind of like in line with where the till is, if you wanted some natural light, that is. I always like to give you guys options, so we also have to, yeah, I guess guys, well, you can't see me. We've kind of reached the point in this tutorial now where we have to get some different stuff out, because we have just simply reached the end of the road with these materials. So I'll tell you what, we're going to get rid of all of these. We're going to grab some brand new ones so that we can finish off the entire front of the store. We can make it all nice and detailed. We can make it look great, and here are all of the materials that we are going to need. So please do make sure that you have access to all those materials. Make sure you've got enough of them. We are going to be grabbing loads more stuff later on as well. By the way, we will not be done just using these. So make sure that you have all those. Make sure you're ready to grab some more later on, and then once you do have everything, we can continue. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now that we have all of that stuff that I just showed you, we can continue on. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add some black stained glass pane to the areas that I kind of designated as windows. Now these aren't necessary at all, of course, but if you're trying to keep your supermarket nice and bright, if you may be trying to add a little bit of flair and flavour to the place, you know, adding some windows isn't a bad idea. I also grabbed some red carpet. The red carpet is basically just going to act as a seat for all of the people that are working on and behind the tills. I'm going to place weighted pressure plates next to the quartz stairs, and those are kind of like the little scanny things, you know, like when the person like passes the thing over and it's like boop, boop. That's what that is. I also have a hoe and some seeds and some stuff like that. So the reason for that is I am going to hoe all of these 3 areas against the wall, and I'm going to replace them with different kinds of seeds and stuff. And that's why I have the bone meal as well, just to grow them like this. Perfect. So this is the stuff that is on offer. What else can we do? Well, I'm going to grab out the melon, the pumpkins, the sea pickles, item frame signs, yellow carpet, green carpet, wheat, and some beetroots. And I'm going to... This area here is going to be all like pumpkin and watermelon and stuff. And it's basically just going to kind of be laid up like this. And I like the idea of the pumpkins / watermelons just kind of like stacked on top of each other, kind of intermixed, kind of like mingled a little bit, just kind of like this. How funny is it that watermelon you can place anywhere, but pumpkins you have to place on something, it would seem. So, you know, just kind of like this. That's perfectly fine. That looks great. Above all of these areas, if you like, you can also add like signs and some... and basically just like item frames, just to kind of show like what's on offer. In the signs you would obviously write, you know, whatever it might be that's for sale, like this is potatoes, and then you could actually like let's say you wanted to, like, this is my bad. Okay, so these are beetroots. So you could like put beetroots in the signs. You could do that. This is wheat, right? Wheat. You could just put wheat, and then for this, this is potatoes. You could actually grab just proper potatoes, and you can just put these in the signs, and you can write whatever the cost for these might be. You know, something like that if you wanted to. Now, this is where we have to get a little bit creative, because obviously we don't have that many seeds that we can actually fill this area in. Like we've got some stuff that we can use. So like what haven't we used already? I don't think I don't know. We haven't grown carrots, or have we grown? We've either grown. Those are potatoes, definitely, right? They're not carrots. They'd be orange. So like here we can place some carrots if we want to. So this can be carrots. You can just leave those to grow for a little bit. We can use ferns. That looks like some sort of fancy, vegetable of some sort. But then we're going to have to get creative. Like, you can just use carpets to kind of create like a little effect. Like, you can just use some like yellow carpet and some green carpet and stuff. Maybe mix them together a little bit better than I have. Just kind of like that. That just looks like some sort of vegetables. Maybe they're bananas or something like that. We can here. I mean, you can reuse. You can reuse stuff as well. So if you wanted to, you could grow some more like wheat here. If you what? We wouldn't use wheat, would we? How about beetroot? I like beetroot because of the color. We can have beetroot here, or maybe beetroot's fine. We can even do like apple. So like we can use item frames and red carpet, and we can actually grab some apples. And if you just kind of like pepper this a little bit with like red carpet, and then put some item frames, and then add apples, it just looks like you can just grab an apple off of there. Here we can do my favorite. So my favorite is this, pumpkin, sea pickles. And if you chuck some pumpkins about the place, and you maybe even intersperse the area a little bit with some green carpet, and then if you place sea pickles on top of the pumpkins, does that, or does that not, look like a way better pumpkin? That looks great. If you want to, we can preemptively, we can be a bit, what would the word be? We can be a bit impatient with these. If we want, we can get these grown up. We can turn these into carrots. We can get the beetroots going, and you can see it just looks like a little bit better, doesn't it? You could even make these a little bit longer if you wanted to. You could make them the length of these bookshelves as well. But that depends how you know, how crazy you want to get. I think it's nice that not everything like evens out and levels out perfectly. So now we have two little individual areas back here to think of as well. We have the butchers and the bakery. So for the butchers, we're going to keep this up. We need the signs, item frames. We're going to use raw chicken, but we will need other meats as well, but we'll do that in a bit. Stonecutter, lanterns. So I like the idea of having a few signs on the iron here. So maybe like one here, one here, and then maybe like one in the middle, and then just some item frames with some meat. So like I've only got chicken on me to save some inventory space, but obviously the more different meats that you have, the better it will look. You can even make the signs look a little bit wonkier, so like this here, and maybe like you can have like make them just like a tad bit wonkier. Along the back, stonecutter is a good idea, obviously, like the butcher to like cut the meat and stuff. Maybe chuck a lantern back here. You could even have some item frames and stuff, kind of like signifying what's on offer. You could even have, again, you can have like the sign and item frame system, and you can have prices and stuff like that. That would look pretty good. Moving on down, we can have a similar thing to the on the bakery. So not to just straight up copy it. We'll just have a couple of signs, and we'll have one that's a little bit, say, like a tad bit wonky. And obviously, like the cool thing about this is we can use cakes, and we can just use like a load of cakes here, which looks the best because you don't have to use the item frames. But like if you place maybe like a little bit of pie every so often or something like that. Along this back wall here, I didn't even think of this until now, but you know, you could have some furnaces, or maybe even like blast furnaces might look a little bit better, just to kind of make it look as though that like the bread has been baked. I only literally just thought about that right now, so I doubt that that'll be in the item list, but yeah, just to make it look as though that the bread has been baked. And again, you can have the signs dispersed out and stuff like that. You can have stuff placed next to the furnaces, stuff on the wall. You guys get the idea. So yeah, we can have that as decoration. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much the entire front portion of the store. We do have a couple more things kind of like relating like just here and towards the outside, but we're actually going to tackle the entire inside the store. Like we'll work our way to the back, and then we'll then work our way forwards again. So we do have a few more things to do up front, but the main store here is pretty much done. But like I said, just so that I can show you guys a little bit better, like different meats would be, you know, would be way better. So instead of just having just the chicken, but again, inventory space, you guys know, you can have this, maybe even some fish if you wanted to. I mean, fish is meat, I guess. There we go. That's fine. Same with the bakery. Like we can do bread, we can do cookies, we can do the pie. So like this, and this. So like we don't have to have. Let's grab an item frame. So we can have cookies here, for instance. So same here. We can put a cake in there. We can put bread there. You guys get the idea. Just to vary it up a little bit. But now that we kind of have like sorted out the entire front portion of our store, now that this is all done, and by the way, I am kind of getting the urge to extend these a little bit. Let's see if it looks. I don't think it looks silly at all. I don't know why I'd say silly, but I don't know. It does seem kind of long though. I like the idea of them being just a little bit even. So I don't know if I do like that actually. Like yeah, they don't have to be the same shape as the bookshelves. I know that it makes everything look a bit more uniform, so to speak, but we don't need that. That's okay. Something that we could do, though, is maybe we could have a couple of shopping carts just kind of like dispersed here a little bit later on, or something like that, maybe. We'll see. Maybe even like we could even try and make some like kind of like baskets or something. So we'll see if we can do something for that area a little bit later on, but now that this portion is completely done, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to work our way into the back. We're going to, first of all, focus on the staff room. Now, the staff room needs a load of different materials, some that we've probably used before, some that we haven't. Here are all of the materials that we are going to be using for the actual staff room. So please make sure that you have access to all those and enough of them. And once you do have all that stuff, we can get building. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do in this room is right in the back corner here, we're going to have just like a set of tables. So we'll have like a quartz stair in the corner, oak fence, weighted pressure plate on top, and then a quartz stairs on the opposite side. We'll leave a gap of 2, and then we'll have the same thing again. So we'll have the quartz stairs, oak fence, weighted pressure plate, quartz stairs on the opposite side. We'll want to leave a gap of 2 between all of these tables, and then we will want to mirror them. So we are going to literally, same thing, gap of 2 between all of these, and then we will just mirror exactly what we've just made. Perfection. against this... Oh, and also we'll add some windows here too, that's something. We'll add a few windows, so we'll start off with 2 and we'll see how we get on. But like just in between, like on this wall here we'll have a window, and on this wall we can have another window just to have some natural light in. We'll have a couple of bins, so we'll have like a cauldron in the corner, oak trapdoor on top, a couple of vending machines, so red concrete and blue concrete next to each other, 2 by 2, and then another bin. Oak trap door on top, and then again like just another very, very simple, just red concrete, blue concrete next to it. We might even lower the ceiling, because I've noticed that the ceiling should be a little bit lower, but I don't know if that even whether that's even a big deal or not. We might even just keep the ceilings nice and high as they are. In this corner here against this wall, we're going to have kind of like a refrigerator slash freezer. That's just going to be a 2 by 2 blocks of iron. We're going to then, along this wall, we're going to need grey concrete. We'll need the cauldron back out. We'll need, what else will we need? We'll need the iron doors, tripwire hook lanterns, flower pots, brewing stand, buttons, and yeah, weighted pressure plates. So in front of the fridge freezer doors, we're just going to have a couple of iron doors. That makes it look like it's openable. You can even place some weighted pressure plates on top if you like. Next to this, we're going to have just a couple of grey concretes, cauldron, grey concrete. We'll stick a weighted pressure plate on top of this last grey concrete here. We'll stick a tripwire hook above here. We'll have like a flower pot and a brewing stand. That just makes it look as though people can make drinks. Place a few buttons to make it look like cabinets. You could even make some more cabinets, but you'd probably want to use some different materials for this. But more cabinets, you can just use some, like, again, vary the materials, but you know, something with just like buttons in front of it would look just perfectly fine. The vending machines are very, very simple. We're just going to have buttons on the left sides of the vending machines, and then we're just going to have, again, variance is key, item frame, and I'm just going to use honey bottle because I know that I have the image for it for the item thumbnail, for the item list. I'm just going to use some item frames, and I'm just going to put honey in here. You can vary that up a little bit. You can even make these a little bit taller now if you wanted to. You could make them 3 rows high if you so chose, and then of course all you would have to do is you just have to just have it all follow up like this. If you wanted to have it a bit bigger, that looks perfectly fine. You could have another window here just at the end, I'm thinking. You can have some more posters. I like the idea of some posters around the place, so that's why we have the painting. So I don't know, maybe like here, maybe like here. That's fine. That looks okay. Maybe like a little collage of posters. No. Okay. Maybe like one in the corner here. You know, again, just to kind of like keep things like a little bit brighter, a little bit nicer. Just to make it look a little bit more interesting. If you wanted to drop the ceiling, you certainly could. I'd have to get rid of these cupboards. If you wanted the room to feel a bit more snug, you certainly could do that. Let's add the lights in first. So, I noticed in the original, I actually dropped the ceiling. I don't know why, but actually, I think I do know why. Because this room is, like, the ceiling is way too high, I think, in this room otherwise. And it almost feels empty. Like, unless you add loads and loads more stuff to it. But if you drop the ceiling, kind of like how I did in the original, then I think... Get rid of that. Then I think it will just make it a lot cozier. Sometimes it's not a benefit to have like a giant room with nothing in it. Yeah, there we go. That just feels dead cozy now, or at least it does to me. I think that's way better. You could even have, if you wanted to, you could have some single tables. Although that makes me a little bit sad. I like the idea of people eating together, but you could have some single tables, perhaps kind of like maybe like here as well, but then people are going to be walking behind them, and that's a little bit weird probably. But yeah, you guys get the idea. It's looking nice and cozy in here. You could have like, again, more and more like pictures and stuff around the place. Make it look cool. Not that one, maybe that one. Just to make it look a bit more interesting. I quite like that. I think that we've done a pretty good job in here now. I'm quite happy with that. It seems nice and cozy. You'd actually want to eat in there. Now we're going to move on down into the warehouse. Now, the warehouse is an interesting area. It's got a lot of stuff in it. Loads of stuff. It's almost hard to make an item list for this place, and I don't really want to, exactly. I'm going to give you guys some ideas of the kinds of things that you can put in here that will look good, but the best thing that you can do when it comes to this little warehouse part is literally just fill it up with random stuff. So I'm talking brown shulker boxes, I'm talking note blocks, bookshelves, different kinds of wood, scaffolding, furnaces, crafting tables, just interesting different kinds of things. I'll add like a few different ideas like in this item list. You know, feel free to grab stuff from this item list right here, but you're just going to want to grab loads and loads of weird different things, and you'll kind of see how we progress through this, what I mean by that. So yeah, make sure that you've got enough stuff that you're going to be comfortable with how this looks inside here, and then once you do have all that stuff, everything that you think you'll need, then we can get building. Okay, so once you've grabbed everything you think you'll need, we can get this thing started. So first of all in here, I like the idea of making some shelves. Now the shelves are quite easy to make. It's basically made out of spruce trapdoors, kind of like this, and you can stack spruce trapdoors in such a way that you can make shelves that go quite high. You can like take them to the ceiling, you can place them in such a way that you can actually place stuff in between them as well. So like on the floor here we can have like a couple of barrels, we can have a couple here, so it just looks like a really cool shelving unit. We can stack some like composters up in the corner here. We can place like spruce trapdoors on top of them if we wanted to. We can use say like chests, and we can use barrels and all sorts of different stuff. Like we can chuck that in the corner, and that just looks great. We can use brown shulker boxes like this. We can stack these up high like this. Barrels, chests. Again, you know, you're just going to want to differentiate. You can even put stuff in the middle of the floor, so kind of like just some bookshelves and a couple of beehives that just looks like boxes filled with stuff. Against this wall, you can have a crafting, you know, just sets of crafting tables, chests, all different things like that. We can grab armor stands and different furnaces and looms and stuff. So like scaffolding like this and like that, all sorts of different stuff. Like, you know, you can use grindstones, you can, again, you know, whatever you can kind of get a hold of, whatever you think could kind of look just good piled up in here. Probably wood, you know. It doesn't have to, you can make it nice and messy. That's the cool thing about this. You don't have to make it perfect at all, so you can really just kind of like go, you can go with it. A lot of what I would use in here is just loads of shulker boxes, barrels and stuff, because they do look the most to me. Note blocks would have been good too. I wish I would have remembered to grab those, but you know, just like that looks fine. Like that's like a fine looking stock room, fine looking storeroom. Feel free to add some different stuff if you want to, but really, just completely go crazy with it. Just place stuff all over the place. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be tidy. And once you are finished doing the stockroom, we're going to want to head all the way back to the front of our Walmart, climb on top of all of the produce. Nobody want it after that. And we are going to now work on the front section. So all of the plants that you might have seen at the start of the video, we have to make like the alarm system, and then we just have to make some trolleys, or as it is known, shopping carts. So get rid of these. Here are all of the materials that you will be needing to make the next part of the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And once you do have all of that stuff, we can get this thing started. Alright, so now that you have grabbed all of that stuff, ladies and gentlemen, we can finish off this tutorial, because we will actually have everything we need to finish this build now. I'm pretty excited about it. So we're going to start off with the diorite wall and the red nether brick wall, and we're just going to make kind of like, you know how there's like that alarm system, like when you walk out of a store with something that you shouldn't have, like if it's got a tag on it, it's like wee wee wee. It's happened a few times. It's embarrassing. Even if you haven't took anything, which I never have, Sometimes it goes off and it's embarrassing. It makes you feel like a criminal. Well, we want to have this on basically just like all around the doors on both the outside and the inside. And it'll just make things look a little bit more colourful, a little bit more authentic. I like the idea of having a few shopping carts inside as well, inside here. So just kind of like this, just a few cauldrons with open oak fence gates on the end. Just a few shopping carts people can grab and then walk around with. We're going to move outside now, and we're going to move all the way over to the right side of the build here. And we're also going to have some more shopping carts. So basically, just in front of all these windows here, we're going to place like extending outwards from this corner. We'll have like a grey concrete gap of 2, grey concrete gap of 2, grey concrete gap of 2 like this. And we're going to have quartz slabs in between all of the grey concretes. We're going to extend the grey concretes outwards using iron bars, maybe about like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 seems fine. You could even go more if you want to, but about 4 or so from every single one of the grey concretes like this. We want to place shopping carts again, so you're going to want to do this kind of like randomly in some sort of like random order, kind of like this. I realize I've done the same thing. Okay, that's not bad. Just like shopping carts, just kind of like in a random order like this, all stacked behind each other. It just makes the place look a little bit more authentic. It makes it look a little bit better. On the front of the build, we have kind of like a whole little selection of flowers kind of like built up. It's made using spruce wood slabs, extending across the light grey terracotta here at the front middle of the build. We extend the 2 areas where we have the light grey concrete, we extend those down, turn them into full actual spruce wood plank blocks. And then we place just a couple of signs about the place kind of like this, just to explain what's on offer. And then all we do is we grab, we'll grab like oak leaves, flower pots, green carpet, dandelions, all sorts of different flowers, and we'll chuck like a couple of different leaves here. We'll chuck like a few green carpets down. We'll chuck some flower pots about the place, and then we'll fill them up. And that's all we're gonna do. And basically in those signs and stuff, it will just say like 3 flowers, £1, you know, whatever it might be. Like the signs will be filled in with something. It just makes the area come to life a little bit more. Same sort of thing on the inside. On the inside, we're going to have a bigger selection. So I'm going to have like quite a long row of grass kind of in here. I'm going to extend it out a little bit. I'm going to grab the hoppers and cauldrons. Gonna chuck a couple of they're hoppers. Gonna chuck a couple of cauldrons up here where the light grey is, and a few down on the ground. Chuck the occasional hopper about the place as well. Compost bins look good as well, because I mean composters, they can be used for any manner of. They could actually be. They could kind of like be anything. They could be for the plants, they could be plant containers. Leaves are good here as well, so like we can chuck some leaves kind of like in the corner here, just kind of like build up a little bit, maybe even here. What else can we do? We can even destroy some of the floor if we want, and we can add some like more grass here, and then we can add, and then that allows us to add more flowers. So I've got a collection of flowers. You might want to diversify a tad bit more, but you know, just add. I'm just going to kind of like sprinkle the area with flowers a little bit like this. That's looking good. Item frames are good as well. We can use the item frames kind of like disperse them a little bit everywhere. Same thing with the signs again, like that's this flower, this one costs this much. You guys get the idea. Where you're going to use water buckets to fill the cauldrons, that will make it look as though there was once water in here or something like that. So again, you know, just to make it look a little bit nice, a little bit more diverse, I think that looks pretty good. It's like quite a nice little messy but looks sort of cool like little flower selection just inside here. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we've kind of done it. Yeah, we've kind of made the entire build. Wow, that was exhausting. That was a lot of stuff, guys. Why don't we outline everything that we've done, and then we'll close this out. I'd love to go over everything that we've just made, because we've made so much. So now that we've finally finished the interior of our build, we're going to go over everything that we've done, not necessarily in order. So on the outside here, we have kind of like a shopping cart area, a trolley area, that's what we call them in the UK. We have a little flower section just out the front of Walmart, but we also have the exact same thing kind of like on inside the opposite side here. Not only that, we have kind of like a little security system here as well, just on the inside too, and the opposite of the inside. More shopping carts. We have an entire produce section just fitted into the immediate entrance area. We have a butcher section, a bakery section. We even have like a little frozen food section as well. Those actually haven't been filled in with anything, my bad. They should have meat in them or some such. Or frozen veg, that'd work too. Loads of bookshelves. We have kind of like, this is the area where you would actually pay for all of your stuff, all of the tills. We have kind of like a nice little clothing area towards the front as well. Just out the back, we have a hallway just that connects us to the rest of the store, the more so of the staff section. We have a little bit of a staff room here, and not only a staff room, but we also have a little bit of a warehouse as well, where all of the stock is actually stored, and like where it is initially bought to and then dispersed throughout the store. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. This was an absolute blast to make. I love making big, complicated, multi-part builds like this, and if you guys do enjoy it, please do remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that little bell next to the subscription button. That ensures that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. Like the video if you did like it, but more importantly, if you do want to make other builds by me, whether it's much smaller, much simpler grocery stores than the one we've just made, or whether it's trampoline parks, or bee farms, or car places, there's so much more to make. Check out the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section for more. I've got a huge variety of stuff for you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm so glad that's all done. That's an awesome addition to our city. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.